Hello Kyle, hi my friends. Thank you so much for having me on your channel. My name is Heather and I'm a professional psychic medium in my day job. I'm also a writer and author, and what else do I do? I've done a few different things in my time. I'm nearly 50. It's going to be my birthday in a few weeks. So I'm an Aries energy here on this 3D plane. So it's very exciting times to be in Aries, I'm sure you know. I also have a YouTube channel where I do Reiki, healing and ASMR type videos, very similar to yourself there. The Reiki energy that I work with, I channel very much from where I'm from. But to be fair, all Reiki energy flows through the universe everywhere. So they're all very, very similar. It's all about intention. It's all about how you're using the energy. You can't say one is more powerful than the other because they're all powerful. It's how a person responds to that energy is where the true power is. So as channels for that energy, mediums for that energy, it's wonderful to be able to pass that along and share that healing energy with people, to allow them to experience it for themselves, and how they accept it. That is where the power comes in. They can feel for themselves, begin to understand for themselves what their power is, their place in the universe, and it's wonderful to be able to be a part of that. So my starseed name is Mishantofia, and I am from a place called Saros, and it's quite far from where we are here. You can't see it. It's moving further and further away all of the time because the universe is always expanding. And sometimes it moves, it undulates. You know, we have frequencies. You're familiar with sound waves, light waves. The universe also moves with the same kind of undulations and frequencies. And so planets and stars, galaxies are always kind of in motion. They're always fluid. So you can't see it from where we are. We do have a logo, which at home I have it tattooed on. It's usually in blue, or it's in a bright blue, or you can have it in gold, and I have it in gold. It's a lightning bolt with the planets. So we do speak light language. I channel light language as well. That's something that we might come on to later. So that might be fun.
Hi Heather and everybody who's watching. Thank you so much for that incredible introduction. Thank you for sharing. That was incredible. I'm very excited to be doing this with you and can't wait to dive into the questions. It's so wonderful to share this with everyone as it's so beautiful and magical. And if you don't know me, I am Kyle and my starseed name is Zorian. I'm a crystal adult from Sirius B. I am a psychic medium, Reiki master and practitioner and teacher. I've attuned a few people to Reiki. I'm also an author, and on my channel, if you're watching this on hers, I do Reiki sessions, crystal healing, and occasional dowsing rod sessions for spirit communication. I hope this video today will help expand people's curiosity and consciousness expansion. I've already seen everything from what she filmed. It was so incredible, especially learning something new. So she does have the list of questions on her computer, and I will be sharing. So you'll see me bits and pieces of asking the questions and delivering it to her, and she'll either say it for what she knows or channel it, and I'm pretty sure she will expand more about that. I really can't wait, and we'll begin. So first topic is on Pleiadian, Is it a planet? What is their history with our world? And could you tell us a little bit about them?
So is Pleiadian a planet? Yes, it's more than a planet. It is a system of planets. It's a people, it's a culture, it's a philosophy as well. Pleiadians are one of your closest neighbours, so it would make sense that you guys are getting along very nicely. You're quite sort of interconnected, and that they are the ones that are reaching out, or the ones that you would have the most contact with. You do have another close neighbour that you probably have more contact with historically, but we can get into that as well. Yes, we call it Pleiades or Pleiadians because I would say it's one of the names that they use. This planet right now, the Earth, is very central. It was used as a meeting place way back. And so this was a gathering spot. A lot of your myths and legends and history and identities of religious philosophies and ideas, they can be traced back to early contact amongst other races around the universe or from outside of your galaxy. And so that word Pleiadian or Pleiades, although you have it here in the Greek philosophy, it does come from the Pleiades. They also use it over on the Pleiades, the Pleiadian galaxy. They have other names for it as well, but they like to help you feel comfortable with that contact. So they will use terms that you are comfortable with initially until we can expand that thinking. So it's just little drip feeding. We don't want to overwhelm with information right now. Oh yeah, see, I could go on and on. I was just going to say, back in the 90s, there was talk of open contact, but it was felt that the timing wasn't right. So the preparation for open contact is starting again. It did start back in the sort of 50s through the 60s, 70s, 80s. So it's very much in the collective consciousness of the Earth. And as we got into the 90s, there have been historical contacts with people on the Earth, but it was felt perhaps it wasn't appropriate for the masses. And it's not just thinking about individual countries or cultures, it's thinking about everybody, what is in the best interest for everybody, because you don't want to come along and sort of undermine what people have been believing for centuries, millennia. Faith is a very powerful thing, and we don't really want to kind of undermine that in any way by stepping forward.
That is very incredible. Are you guys an advanced planet? I'm curious on how you connect with the galactic community.
Yes, I would say, so we use a few different metrics to qualify advanced. So one of the metrics would be pursuit of spiritual wisdom and knowledge. It would also be the society construct, and it would be the ability to kind of connect with people on not just outside of your world, but outside of your reality. And that's when we talk about going to different dimensions and passing through different parallel universes, because parallel universes are different to dimensional universes. So in the physical reality that we occupy right now, we are sharing that space in this galaxy, this universe, with other civilizations. So the Pleiades, in terms of technological advancement, it doesn't look like what you might expect it to look like from your perspective. The advancement in critical thinking skills versus knowledge versus wisdom, there's all kinds of things. It's not just one metric that we would use to qualify civilization as advanced. I'm sorry, I went a bit deep.
Thank you. I loved how you explained it. So that does make a lot of sense, and to interpret it in a different way, because everyone's definition of advanced is different, especially with how we view things. And I do love that perspective on seeing different metrics of advancement on different topics, like you mentioned. So you said it perfectly, so that made really perfect sense, and hope other people kind of see that perspective on how other people see what advancement is like what people or different beings see what advanced is. So that's really cool. So are you located in the Pleiadian system?
Okay, so am I located in the Pleiades? No, I'm not. I think I said earlier, we are beyond right now your ability to see where we are. We're actually quite protected from outside onlookers. There's a lot of dust clouds and radiation fields and growing nebulas and such that you have to be able to see through in order to get to where we are. And we're by no means the center point. There is no center point. There is no, there's not one centralized hubbub. There's lots of little ones, or there's lots of different points.
Wow, that is really incredible. And I'm curious, how far away are you from us? Are you roughly around 444 light years away?
This is a good question. Is it 444 light years away? I guess so. We don't, like, measurements are relative in terms of the 3D, how you guys would measure it. I would say I'm getting here, it's maybe slightly further away. It's around and about that 444. There was a time when it was closer. Like I say, the universe is always expanding. So over many years, over millennia, and there will be instances where big changes happen. It's very rare that you get a major anomaly out in the universe, but when it does happen, it can really change the landscape of where everybody sits. And this is why we get so interested in other places, because they can either be a lifeline for continuation of your own society, but they might need help. They may be the cause of an incident. You want to be able to get in there and build relationships with people off-world, pretty much like you do with your foreign affairs.
Are you a Starseed?
Are they a Starseed? Yes, I am a Starseed. Starseed is a fairly recent term, as in it's only been around maybe the last sort of 15, 20 years that I've been aware of. To me, Starseed just means somebody who has had more lifetimes off this world in other worlds, and that for this lifetime they have chosen to come to Earth. Me being somewhat different, being a walk-in starseed, that means I have two lives going on that I'm juggling. So I have a life back home, and then I have a life here. And the reason I say back home versus here is I grew up there first and then came here, and the life sort of run in tandem. And when this life finishes here, I will go back there and continue. And I would say from that life here, it's not my first time coming here to Earth. I've been here a couple of times whilst having that one life there. So it's yeah, we're talking about time travel, time dilation, as well as just kind of coming into this world from another world. But I love connecting with my fellow starseeds. You can always spot a starseed because there's a few characteristics. When someone has lived all their lifetimes in one place, they tend to be very, very rooted in that place. Starseeds tend to be a bit more think outside the box, because they have sort of deep awareness that there's other ways of doing things, there's other ways of living, and some people actually remember what it was like being off-world, having a whole life somewhere else, and they feel very disconnected from this place. So they have to try and learn how to fit in often when we're here, and it's one of the biggest struggles, which I think is why growing up where I did and then coming here, you get a lot of training to do this. You don't just get thrown into it. We prepare for this transition because we're here to learn. We're not here to guide necessarily. We're not here to influence. We are here to find out about this place and how everything works, and how everyone's getting along, and you can get a taste for that looking outside in, but you can't truly appreciate it unless you're in the trenches. You're like in amongst it, and you are getting these perspectives. So we have people all over the planet, just like me. It sounds a bit clandestine, doesn't it, gathering information, but it's more in a sort of a, are you ready to come say hello to everybody type way, rather than a we want to come in and take over. That's not what it's about. If anything, we come here if you need support, if you need help, you know, we are here to kind of step in and help prevent disasters. Sometimes disasters are necessary to help you guys make progress, help you move forward. Sometimes things cannot be stopped, they can't be helped, which is unfortunate, but you know, we do our best.
That does make sense. It's like a lot to comprehend, but I'm getting it. But it's really fun to like connect with like other starseeds. Like I remembered a few lives of mine, which was on Earth. My last one was on Earth. It wasn't too long ago. It was around from 1913 to 1941. And I remember a few from other planets. There was one, I couldn't even tell you where, but it's so cool to remember like our past lives. And of course, like you said, like everything, it just happened all at once, and it's so incredible. So are you guys part of the Federation of Light? And is there more than one galactic community?
The Galactic Federation of Light. So yes, we are part of the Galactic Federation of Light, which there are a few different federations out there. The Federation of Light is the one that is perhaps the more spiritual body, the moral compass of the universe. So yes, you have lots of different planets joining. Everybody sends representatives. Everybody takes part of what they learn from there back to their world. And what you may find is people are recruiting from Earth right now. People will be being recruited from Earth to see if they are open to learning. First of all, you do have to be open to and sort of ready and willing to take on board the information. So just, you'll start to see that over the next few years, people stepping forward saying that they are part of that body, which I think will be nice. There are people who have been invited along previously to kind of observe or to take away pieces of information. But in terms of regular meetings and it is a big commitment. You can get called up at any moment. If there's an emergency somewhere or something going on that needs your attention, you can also be kind of given specific regions to take care of, look after, and so that is your job, to monitor and make sure everything's ticking along nicely. It can be quite a big responsibility for somebody. So it's big shoes to fill.
That would be very nice. It does sound like a big responsibility for sure. But do you guys follow Greek mythology?
Well, Greek mythology. So yes, interestingly, yes, absolutely. Greek mythology. Now, Greek mythology, if you know much about it, you know that some of the deities there are not the nicest of characters. But what I would say about that is we're all still learning, aren't we? We're all trying to get to grips with who we are. And, I feel like the Greeks, the Greek deities, the Greek mythology, those people, those deities, they're making a comeback. I have been saying this for a while now. One of my customers that I work with, she is actually from that pantheon of Greek deities. And so she works quite closely with those energies, and they have been telling that they are preparing to step back in because they don't like the way things have been shaping up. And, not just them, but a lot of the older characters that you would know from mythology, the Norse deities, the Celtics, the pagans, they're all going to be making a comeback, if you like. And, they are already here, essentially. They just need to build up in strength a little bit. But when that happens, you will start to see much more of a shift taking place in how things are run around here. So we're keeping an eye on that.
Oh, wow. That would be very interesting to see how everything turns out. So I found this on my research, on your 9 brightest stars. And according to us, we named them after Greek names. Did the names originate from you, or do you call them something else?
I'm trying to think, do we have 9? Yeah, again, what we're looking up at, where we are, is not the same as what you guys are looking at. So, no, we don't call them the same. The Pleiades, the Pleiadians, they adopt that name because number one, they like it, but number two, it makes you guys feel comfortable, and it helps you identify where they are and how they relate to you and your history.
Well, thank you for that. So I'm curious on what you guys look like, your appearance. Do you guys look remarkably human? Do you have like pointy ears, kind of like elvish, or like what the skin type, like color, like is it gonna be like different tones? Does it differentiate in like environment like us, like humans? And are there different skin colors? And do the eyes, do they have different shapes or different colors?
Humans, yes. So humanoid shape is basically what you get: the head, the two arms, the two legs. We do see that repeated throughout the galaxy. A lot of planets are actually colonated by other places. So what makes the Earth quite special is that it was originally without human life or humanoid life, and it was colonated. And that's part of the reason there are so many cultures being interested, so many off-world societies interested in your development, because there are so many that sort of have a claim or a stake in your development and where you're headed, because they started it off. And really, the way that people look, like their skin color, eye color, hair color, that's all kind of environmental. So there will be variations like height, weight, say skin color, eye color, hair color. Where you have hair on your body is another one. This is all relates back to your environment. Okay, so I feel like I need to say the radiation from your star, from your sun, is going to influence a lot of that impact on how you evolve. So yes, you will see some humanoids with blue skin, some with grey, some more orangey tone, some very paper thin, very white skin. It's one of the reasons why we astral travel and use vessels or create vessels on other worlds, because it saves a heck of a lot of time traveling around versus kind of developing those technologies where you are, like in the movie Avatar, you have your kind of bioengineered suits that you can send your consciousness into to wear around. And so when people talk about, are there aliens among us? Yes, because we have plenty of that going on. So, we can talk about that more in a bit. Pointy ears, yes. There are some with pointy ears. Where the point is as well, we have some where the ear is actually fused to the skull, the rest of the head, so it's not sticking out like this. Again, it's all about the way that you develop within your environment. You've developed this because you need that hearing sense. So this captures all the sound waves and sends it down to your eardrums. You need that because, it's hunter and hunted type of environment. But if you're in an environment where nothing is hunting you, and you don't need to hunt anything, when we don't need to develop this sort of acute hearing, and the ability to sense danger and assess whether somebody's coming to eat us or something's coming to kill us and eat us, or whether we need to go chase after something. So it does depend. So fair skin, yes. Where I'm from, so obviously here I've got quite pale skin. Where I'm from, it's very translucent. It's even paler. It's not pale. It does, I would say, change colour. Just like anybody, if you're out in the sun, you're gonna react to the sun. Where we are, I might go more kind of a blue colour, but usually it's a very sort of white, almost at times translucent. The different eye colours, absolutely, we have different eye colours. The eyes are truly the windows to the soul. When I walked into this body, for example, the eyes change colour. So there are photos before I walked in, very blue eyes. After I walked in, they changed colour, they went green. So, yes, the eye colours do vary.
Do Pleiadians vibrate higher than humans?
Oh, so vibrating higher than humans. So where I'm from, I would say, I don't know how to answer this. So without a chart. Anybody can vibrate at a different frequency. You can learn to vibrate at a different frequency. So yes, there will be your natural level, your natural attunement. But when you go back in history on the earth, humans were definitely vibrating differently. And if you think about a great big bar chart, where you are at is sort of within a bandwidth. And then so your bandwidth is sort of here. If you want to extend that, you can absolutely make that bandwidth bigger. Where we are, we have kind of taken ourselves to that point where our natural attunement is maybe, it's exactly the same, but it just stretches out. So the frequency range that we can go through is a lot bigger, but we do it very consciously. That's because that's how we access things like dimensional travel, astral travel, parallel travel, because we've just learned that the way that the world is, the way our reality is that we can bend it and we can change it by changing our own frequency. So I know it's a lot.
That makes sense. Do they breathe oxygen or something else? Or are there environments that you guys can't breathe in for too long, or you just can't be in that area? Like if it's kind of like, if like the air is like something else, like and it's kind of toxic, would it affect them? Or do you guys kind of like adapt? I'm curious.
Breathing oxygen, yes. Sorry, most hominid species, most animals do breathe oxygen. I say that, but I am being reminded here that there are plenty who are sulfur based, and what's that one? I think it's P oxide, potassium. Oh, it escapes my mind right now. But there have been life forms found in situations on planets where we wouldn't be able to survive or handle living in those environments. So it's all sorts.
So if, let's say, like, if a human and a Pleiadian, if we stood next to each other, or a different kind of starseeds, would we feel a difference if we stood next to you or like somebody else? I'm just curious, like, if a lot of different beings will feel different things, or maybe you could elaborate a little bit more on that.
Ooh, would you feel a difference? I don't know, potentially you might do. One of the ongoing experiences I've had while I've been here is that people often forget me. Maybe I'm just a very forgettable person, but I could have a conversation with somebody and it could be quite a deep, intense conversation, and the next time I meet them, they won't remember who I am. So that's something that's been a consistent experience while I've been here. But then likewise, then you get people that they remember me, and they may have not spent that much time with me at all. I get, people that I used to be at school with or used to be in clubs with, and they remember everything about me, which you think, 30, 40 years ago, they something stays with them. So feeling different, I don't know. I guess anybody who is channeling Reiki energy or who works as a psychic medium, people tend to notice something about that person. I don't usually go out wearing my tiara, but I do joke with people at the local shop that I will just wander around in my tiara, just to make everybody laugh. So yeah, I don't know, maybe you would. Maybe. How do you feel watching the video?
That is very interesting. Thank you. That makes sense. If a Pleiadian came to Earth, would he or she need to wear like a suit and need to have like their own type of air supply, kind of like how astronauts need like their own suits with air supply up in space or different environments, kind of like, like firefighters going in like smoky because we can't breathe in all the smoke, or it's not going to be good for us. So they need their own air supply. Is it going to be something similar to that?
So if a Pleiadian came to Earth, it will need its own supply of air. Yes, I think Pleiadians would. Yes. Although they can adapt. It's one of the... Yeah, we might have to go off on a tangent with that one. So there is a race of aliens who specialize in kind of bioengineering and biogenetics. So yeah, genetics. So if you want to sort of have a temporary fix for something, and you don't want a clunky piece of material or apparatus to carry around, they would be able to help you out with that. Just like how astronauts need a different atmosphere. Yes, you would, yeah. And divers going underwater, because even if you do breathe oxygen, the ratio of oxygen, some people will need more of it. Some people need a mixture of different gases to be able to breathe. So this is why I think Pleiadians they would manage for a short amount of time before they would have to need some of their own air. Yeah.
For communications, do you mostly use telepathic forms of way to talk to other beings?
Oh, so communication, that is very interesting. Yeah, it's important because some races are purely telepathic. Where I'm from, ours is like what we call blended communication. So what that means is that we have a language, a spoken language, but the spoken language relies heavily on other people being empathic and telepathic. So, so a lot of our phrases can have multiple meanings. So something like heshla anusha, that can have a very literal meaning. It means literally explore my world or explore me. It can also mean, it has a sort of romantic meaning as well as a literal meaning where, so for example, I could say, if I said heshla anasha to you, and it's got a spiritual meaning, I'm basically saying you can come on in and you're invited into my brain and into my aura, and you can see what I'm seeing. You can experience the world through my eyes. If I said, if I turn that around on you and said Tanusha is your world. So again, you'd have to kind of, to understand what my meaning is with what I'm saying, you'd have to be telepathic. Or sometimes empathic. So yeah. But other societies are purely telepathic or empathic, and yeah, those are very different.
Wow. That is really incredible. So that's a lot to comprehend. That is so amazing. And can we get a hold of a starseed from another planet using dowsing rods or other divination tools?
Yes, you can get hold of a starseed using dowsing rods. How that works is, if you think about all the energy in the universe, let's do a comparable. So a comparable would be your Wi-Fi. So you have Wi-Fi in your home. It's channeling the information, the internet, which you can access using a device. So in the case of accessing a starseed using dowsing rods, the dowsing rods are the device that you are using to access the higher, the sort of the light language or the information highway of the universe. We call it the can't quite say it with this voice, but it's higher, and then the shakt is the language or talk. So it's like the internet of the universe, and you can use different devices to access it. So one would be the physical body, another would be like a dowsing rod or pendulum. You could even use a Ouija board to access. And I know a lot of people don't like Ouija boards, don't like using them.
I do like that term, universe highway. That sounds like really cool. I mean, just like thinking about like just a highway of different frequencies just going around, just tapping into that. It sounds really cool. And sometimes, so I have my own experience. Like sometimes I feel and know who's like, if somebody was thinking about me, like I would know. And so like one time, like a friend at work, like she was actually talking about me with her other coworkers. Oh yeah, Kyle does Reiki. And then like I picked up, I'm like, oh, I was thinking about her. So I send her a text, and like then she always replied, oh, we were just talking about you. Like I know, because I could feel you. I can like, oh, you're talking about me, or thinking about me. So it was really cool. And I know a few of my friends can tell when I'm thinking about them too. So it's really cool, like how like we're all connected. We can like be in tune of that energy. Oh, that person's thinking of me. So it's really cool. If we call upon a specific starseed, does saying it like in general will allow all of them to hear us? If they're gonna be like listening, would they all hear and like somebody will talk back? Or I'm just curious like on how it works. Like if we call them by name, it would just go to that specific being, because like if it's like the frequency, I'm just curious on how that goes.
It does depend who's listening. So if you imagine whoever is in meditation right now, and you wanted to connect with people on the earth plane, your best bet is to tap into somebody whose mind is already in that sort of listening moments of being open. And it's the same with starseeds. So because some people have very busy lives, they've got jobs, they've got jobs there, they have purpose, they have things that they're getting on with, and so that means that they're not always going to be focused in on what is coming in from the universal internet, the universal superhighway. Some people do stay tapped into it all day long. Those would be the more kind of religious and philosophical people, where they're spending the day in quiet reflection or meditation, or it is literally their job to go out there and look for information, and so they will be tapped in. So those people, if you're asking questions, they may they may just assume that you're talking to them unless you say somebody's name or you are specifically targeting a destination. So if you say, I want to speak to the Pleiadians, then you can tap right into whoever you might connect with in the Pleiades. It could be somebody in a position of authority. It could be somebody who is just having a quiet moment of reflection, and they are they happen to be listening. So yeah, it really does depend.
Here's a good question. Are names important to speak to a specific person or being?
Yes, names are very important. So generally speaking, if you're connecting with an energy, they won't necessarily give you a name that is their true name, because if you are once you have their true name, you can access them anytime. So we find this a lot with different entities on the earth. You get given different names, starseeds on different planets. Like I gave you a name at the start here, but that's like not my actual name, that's my title. So I gave you the title because that means you can access anybody else that has that title. Does that make sense? So once you have the name of somebody and you have that access to a person, that's something that we like to guard very much so, because we don't, like when you're telepathic and empathic like that, the last thing you want to do is allow people that sort of freedom of access to who you are, to your space, to your energy. You don't want to really be inviting those people in or leaving it open. That people can just wander in anytime they want. So you will find when someone's giving you their name, it's not necessarily their name that they're giving. It's just something that they identify with. It could be a nickname, it could be a title, it could be a way of, say, I don't know, accessing that department. So say you're establishing a relationship with a religious or spiritual body or group in the Pleiades, they may give you the name of that spiritual body rather than the actual individual's name, so that you can access a group of people rather than individuals.
That does make sense. Like with like a being not wanting to share like their true name. Or I was like if I told them like, oh, this is my name, like you call me all the time. I guess it's like if they actually want to, like, yeah, like, okay, like we're friends. If you actually knew each other, like kind of like when you're exchanging numbers, you're like, no, I don't really want to give that number up, but I'll give it to you because we're close friends. Like, oh, I have a good feeling about you. So it's kind of like that in a way. And like when I was talking to my Pleiadian friend, she gave me her true name, and I was able to like talk to her like anytime, and it's like really cool. And I kind of understand more about the titles. Like I was just thinking about myself, like so like Kyle is my title and Zoran is like my name. So that was really cool to see it, like how you explained it in that way. So it's awesome to see it that way. But I didn't know about my name Zorian until I was writing in like the book, because I always like science fiction books, and like there was one I used that name, like, oh, I had a really good feeling about that name. It feels like it's me. So I created that character in me, and like, oh, I'm just channeling that, and like, so that was cool to find out. And of course, later on, my spirit guides, I asked them like, is this me? Like, do we need to be high vibration to contact a being like yourself to talk with dowsing rods or be on a specific frequency?
You don't need to be. This is the beautiful, magnificent part about accessing that information, is that the universe is abundant with energies. You know, every time you feel an emotion or have a thought, it goes somewhere. It's an energy that is created and it goes out there. It's the same for all of creation, animals, plants, even entire planets and stars. That's something to talk about later. So when you are connecting, all you need really is to figure out what is the best way for you, what device or what channel works the best for you. So you know, some people find that they can't access until maybe they have something happen, an incident maybe, or you know, if you look at the shamans, for example, they don't change their frequency themselves. They use plants and herbs to change the frequency for them, and you know, that's something that works great for them. So yeah, you don't have to be sort of uber spiritual to gain access, but where the uber spiritual kind of comes into it is the understanding and the wisdom that you get by having that contact.
Do we need to be high vibration to channel you through telepathy?
So telepathy, again, if you're not naturally telepathic, that is something, because it's more the way your brain is put together. So if you're not naturally telepathic, you can work on it, but the way that you access that information is different to being naturally telepathic, which is something that is, I believe, being worked on right now. I feel like that's like the next step in evolution for you guys, is to be learning how to access, or not access it, learning that you have that within you. And how to develop it. So that's something that will come along.
Can we get on the right frequency to communicate?
You absolutely can get on the right frequency. Like I say, if you think of it as being a chart. There is no good and bad. There's just frequency and intention. And so you can access the point that we're at by, I think it's like anything in life. You want to be fit and healthy, you have to practice, you have to put effort into your fitness. It's the same with your spiritual alignments. You may have to put more effort into it sometimes, but you can absolutely learn to time shift, to parallel shift, to dimensional shift, to reach out to starseeds. You can do all kinds of things when the effort can go in. And yes, there might be some shortcut ways, but essentially life here, the human life here, came from off-world. So you are the same as most hominid life out there. It's just the pathway, the route of development is taking you to where you are right now. But not to worry, you can always steer it in a different direction. It can always go in a different direction. It's entirely your choice, your free will to do so. So I hope that makes sense.
Have Pleiadians come to Earth before or to check in?
Have Pleiadians come to Earth before? Yes. And I think I did kind of go over that, but essentially we like to check in on you. Not just where I'm from, not just the Zarks, not just the Greys, not just the Pleiades, not just the Arcturians. We all like to come and check in on you at different times to see how you're getting on.
Have Pleiadians gave humans on Earth an upgrade in the past? Like, was it thousands of years ago? Or are they going to give us another? I'm very curious.
Was it thousands? It was millions of years ago. Millions of years. Or another upgrade. Are they going to give us another? Okay, yes, another upgrade. I think, yes, there are. When I say they're scheduled in, you have planned upgrades or helping hands. But what we've found, and this is what happened in the 90s, why the contact didn't happen, is because there was some discussion over whether or not that classed as interference in development. So it was decided to put plans on hold whilst that was figured out, because if you've got one race coming in and upgrading, that is outright interference, even though they may make claim that it's their right to do so or their duty to do so, however they justify it. We have a very hands-off approach and a non-interference approach. But yes, you will have some upgrades that are more hopefully your natural evolution. I'd like to see that, and I am seeing that more and more as we build up to open contact. There does need to be some major shifts that happen beforehand. That will come about. That will, I think in the next sort of 20, maybe 30 years, you'll see some major shift abouts. It could be sped up, it could happen sooner. It absolutely could. Yeah, I think the plan now is to wait until I am getting 2050 So we have these sort of marker points, these check-in points, and they say, right, okay, well, we'll see how we go, and then we get to that date, and we'll do a review. We're constantly reviewing, but that is the sort of decision-making time. So if something significant happens between now and that 2050 date, then obviously things will get reviewed.
So, like, with everything going on, will it happen when the open alien contact happen possibly next year?
Yes, so open alien contact next year. To be fair, it does happen all the time, the open alien contact. What is different about next year is that it's the people in charge, the people who are ready for hearing what's being said to them. Because right now it's like the earth is a very small, very young child, like a toddler, and it's very hard to tell a toddler what to do, or to give them advice, like sage advice, because they're a toddler. They're not ready to take that information on board yet. So at the moment, it is challenging, because everyone develops differently. So some people on the earth are ready for the contact and they are ready to hear this. Some people are very much not, and it's going to be it could well be a massive disappointment for them. It could be a big revelation for them, but what we want to avoid as much as possible is warfare. We don't want people fighting over where the contact is going to be. We don't want people fighting about whether it's real or what does that mean for their religion. And so it's, and not just their religion, their faith, their belief system, the economy. We want to be really, really careful about how we go about this. And experience has taught us that there are marker points that let us know when things are ready to have not just open contact, but integration. So an integration looks like travel between worlds and joining the different alliances and so on and so forth, and kind of becoming part of the community out there.
Can you elaborate more on it with a message? Maybe that'll help kind of dive deeper. Or here's another question. Will Pleiadians show us their ships over water? It was kind of talked about. So I'm curious on what your take is on that.
So will Pleiadians show us their ships over water? Oh, do you know, I've not actually spent any time on the Pleiades, so I don't know much about what their technology is like, what it looks like. I don't think I'd be able to identify. I don't know, saying that I might be able to pick out a Pleiad, like whether something is Pleiadian or not. Let me just channel that then. Let me just ask. So, where's the question gone? Will Pleiadians show us their ships over? Do you know, I can see that. I can see that happening, and I am getting Hawaii, so I feel like it could well be Pacific area. Also, yeah, no, it's definitely Hawaii. I was gonna say maybe Japan or Pan-Pacific Asia. But no, I'm going with Hawaii. The Pacific Ocean is a nice place for the Pleiadians, or some parts of the Pleiadians. Why am I getting the word refugees? It's not refugees. I wonder if they have a base under there then. I wonder if they've got like a outpost under the Pacific. That could be why that's coming through like that. So I can feel that. I can see that. I think they've got a base there, an outpost.
That does make like a lot of sense, because I've been to Hawaii many times, and just not just from being there, but like I've heard other people witnessing like unidentified crafts flying around. There's like so many, like, okay, that's like not a star or a satellite or a plane. It's like it's moving so fast, so you hear like a lot of stories. So it does make sense for like an outpost, like underground, or like you said, like in the water somewhere. So that does make like a lot of sense. And one of my friends, she's a coworker, and she was in Hawaii one time, and she saw past the veil like a couple alien beings, and like she saw them, and like what, she wasn't quite certain. So there's like, just from hearing from that story, like there's so many aliens, like spaceships and odd crafts, or like things a lot of people can't explain, just in that location of Hawaii. So that kind of makes sense, where if the open contact does happen, it would be there in Hawaii, because I think because there was so much exposure.
Okay. Will we see more spacecrafts flying and more people to witness it? When the open contact comes, you will definitely be very aware of craft. There will be port stations. You will have the ability to go places like the moon. We'll get Mars. I feel like the process at the moment is to get Mars ready, a little bit more of an atmosphere going there. It does have an atmosphere at the moment, but I feel like there's more terraforming that's going to be happening. And again, that's something that's sort of being given as inspiration. The ideas being given right now, scientists, they see, when people get sudden bouts of inspiration, what's happening is they're accessing that universal internet, that some people say Akashic record, but it's the universe's internet, the information highway that people can just tap into, get ideas from. And you see it's happening with science as well as with creative projects, like artworks, stories, myths, legends, that sort of thing. So yeah. You will definitely get more ships.
Does different starseed planets have different kinds of healing energy that they send out?
Very good question. The healing energy does come with the intention, the energy. Although it's all coming from pretty much the same space, you can access different energies, different frequencies of healing energy. So it depends on what it is that needs taking care of, what needs healing. So for example, we will often send out energy that goes to a whole planet. So for example, in the case of Mars, say we want to improve the atmosphere, we can send out a frequency or a healing frequency that will help Mars to heal. And we do the same with the Earth. So we can also do the same with stars. So if a star is looking like it's becoming a little unstable, then we can send the energy to help it stabilize. That would always be the first port of call. Because we like nature to take care of itself, very sort of nature-based and bioengineering.
Is it available for everybody who asks for it?
Oh, yes, absolutely. The energy is available for anybody who asks for it. You can tap into it anywhere, anytime. There are some places that have absolutely beautiful, the purest water from crystal caves and mineral rich water. You can tap into that energy just by thinking about it, just by kind of asking yourself the question, closing your eyes and just thinking about how big the universe is. Just put your mind out there to the vast expanse and see what comes in, because you may find somewhere that other people are not aware of. If you get drawn to something that kind of looks like looks or feels a little bit odd, just remember everything is based on what you know right now. Your interpretations of things is based off of your experience right now, what you're familiar with, what you know, and so that can be a bit jarring, to kind of have that sense that there is this understanding there is no good or bad, there's only intentions. But again, there's more spiritual going on to a more spiritual topic as well and such. So,
Are like all the different starseed energies, are they similar to Reiki but still different? Because I know we have like frequency. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about frequency on that. Is like the energy gonna be more high vibration because it's from a being that's kind of like higher scale than us? So I'm like kind of curious on about that.
so are the energies similar to Reiki but still different? So Reiki is universal life force healing. So because it is universal, it means it's universal. It means it's good for everybody. It keeps the universe in balance well, and this is why we always say that it's an abundant energy. There's plenty of it out there because it's constantly recycling and transmuting and going back out there. So there's always lots of it. So you can have some different ones, but it's again, it's the frequency. Like very similar with sound waves. So if you have a sound bath and you're drawn to the higher pitched sounds, that's because you need that energy, you need that frequency to put you into balance. If you're drawn to the mid-tones or the low frequencies, that's because your body is kind of saying, hey, I need those ones right now. So it's the same with Reiki energy. Every time you tap into it, you may get into a slightly different frequency, but it depends on who you're working on or what you're working on, because the Reiki it sort of knows what's needed. As the channel, it's your job to just channel and not really think about it too much. But if you're trying to do something purposefully, then you do need to be aware that you can just constantly, you just invoke, you ask for particular types of energy to help you do what it is that you are wanting to do. Oh, bless you. Is it going to be more high frequency? So believe it or not, there are some frequencies that are, they are high frequency to the point that they could be destructive. So there's going to be this graph with the range, and you want to kind of just sit within that range, because that is your tolerance. That's what the physical form can handle. That's what the soul can go a little bit outside of what the physical body can cope with, but there's still going to be a frequency range that you have to stay within. If you go too high or you go too low, then you can actually create some problems or some damage there. So do you want to this is why we have to give over a lot of trust that we're doing what we're doing. But crystals can help sort of keep you within your boundaries. Crystals are very good at helping you stay within your frequency range, because they are a physical object, 3D object, and that in itself can ground you very much in your range. Does that make sense?
And then we got some more questions on Arcturians. So I'm very curious on what you guys know about them, like what they do, like how far, what kind of dimensional beings are they? Are they engineers or protectors? I would love to know more about them.
Oh, Arcturians. Ah, good question about Arcturians. So, do Arcturians live on an advanced planet? Do you know, I feel, yeah, Arcturians are very similar to where I'm from. We have, so if you think about Arcturians, you want to definitely think about Akhenaten from ancient Egypt. Akhenaten was pharaoh who kind of tapped into the Arcturian energies, and he may well have been Arcturian. I kind of feel like he was, or descendant of Arcturian. But yeah, it's the sun deity worship, and because there's lots of stars out there that are suns, the sun's frequency is really, really important for life in your solar system. It sort of it sets the tone, it sets the frequency, it sets everything else in motion. So the Arcturians, yes, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. They do have an advanced planet, and there's history between your planet and their planet. Okay. Is the planet red? My planet is very similar looking to Earth. It's probably, our sun is blue, so we don't have a yellow star, we have a blue star, and that makes the colors then a little different, but from the outside looking at it, looks very similar to the Earth. Is the planet roughly 30, sorry, is that 37 light years? No, my 37, I feel like that would put you very much with the Dactarians. I think, what are we saying? Sorry, I'm just asking them. What are we calling themselves now? The Dacarians. I will put you very much by Dakar. So Dacarians. So 37 light years away. So you might know them as the Greys, the Grey aliens. Can they move their bodies in an... Oh, yes. The fifth dimension. So yes, where I'm from, that's something that people kind of work towards. Not everyone is born equal there. Some people do have more kind of again, it's like, you have a natural affinity for something. So some people might be very, very good at playing the violin, and some people are just terrible at it. Some people happen to be naturally good at moving around interdimensionally, and some people are like, it takes practice, or it's just not their thing. So yes, the fifth dimension, that's something I do try and stay away from, because when I've used it before, I've accidentally taken people with me from the 3D into the 5D. I'm so sorry. If you're watching, I'm so sorry. I have done that accidentally before. So and this could well be why people want to forget me. Because and this is why I have a thing about making eye contact, because when I make eye contact with somebody and I let them come in and sort of merge with my aura, they can be in for a little bit of a shock. The way that reality is kind of established, you have your Ijad, which is the platform that we all kind of sit on. It's like your construct platform. And then your life experience is very individual. And that's what your auric field is doing. Your auric field is like generating your experience of the world. And what happens when you're in a group of people or when you're with another person, there will be somebody who is leading the experience and somebody who is happy to go along with whatever the leader is doing. So if you have a high frequency or just a stronger energy around you, a stronger person, they will dictate your experience of reality. So the way that you can sort of accidentally connect with people is through eye contact, also through matching breathing, just standing close to somebody, I've many times accidentally taken people into the 5D. And again, I'm so sorry if I've done that to you. Are they engineers and protectors? Yes, both. Yes, engineers and protectors. The way that we engineer stuff, we like everyone to be able to thrive in what they're best at. So people who like to work with certain materials, they're very sort of chemical or metallurgists, then that's fine, that's their thing. We also have people who we like bioengineering, because we're able to kind of blend in with the natural surroundings a lot more with bioengineering. But we also have metal, stone. We work with lots of different materials, like our clothing is sort of a combination of advancements. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just thinking about that. The materials that we use is not really like, in terms of clothing, it's it has like nanotechnology in it. I think that's what you would call nanotechnology. So you have suits basically that can keep you cool, keep you warm. The material's designed to adapt to the environment. So it's not just about your body, but it's about your physical form in the environment. It can also, it has, what's the right way to say it? Like, I don't want to say robotics, because it's not robotics, but say you have an injury and it means you can't move your knee properly. The suit will adapt, so as you're walking, it will kind of help your knee recover by kind of moving the muscles around it. So it'll take the strain off of moving for you. There's all kinds of things that it can do to sort of help keep you healthy and keep you alive, basically, if it needs to. So, that's not all we wear. There would be certain situations where you would wear a suit like that. Like, say you're going hiking, or you're going off exploring, or say you're just sort of going on a trip between worlds. You want to wear something that's going to, if there was an accident and you needed to be maintained, you would have the ability to do that with the outfit that you wear. So it also has sensors in it that will put you into sort of artificial stasis. So it will doesn't keep your body functions going. It sort of takes you out of time. It loops you out of time so that you're in like this, what do we call it? A suspended status, suspended animation. So when you're found, you can get to medical and get taken care of. So yeah, those are useful. So technology, yes. Protectors, yes. I would say we have quite a fierce ethos when it comes to protecting against bullies. We don't like to see bullying. we don't like to see people being taken advantage of. We definitely have that protective energy. And do you know what? You do have shields around your planet. Is the Arcturian? I would say partly engineered by the Arcturians. So we've got the Federation of Light, but we also have a sort of a shared engineering core or federation. And this is for sort of the good of everybody, you know, advancements in technology and such. So people come from all over to go join us and work and develop and design, engineer different technologies. And that's something that maybe in the future the Earth can come join. But the understanding there with the design technology of it is that you have to also be in the moral, spiritual sector as well, so that you're not misusing any technology. But so there is a shield around Earth, and there's actually patrols as well. There's like regular patrols, so you know, people just can't happen upon the Earth. They can't just sort of show up from other places without going through sort of checkpoints, or you know, they do get found. They have to be registered to come in. Sometimes people do come in, but they get very quickly kind of shifted along if they're not meant to be here. So yes. Oh, there's lots of questions. Right, I may have to do another video for the next lot of questions that my darling. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, sorry for the interruption there. So yes, with regards to the Terminator timeline, that is something that can happen here potentially, but at the moment I feel like you're not on that timeline. You can see that it's there, but you're quite a ways off, which is lucky. So try not to worry about it. Next question. If it did happen, will it be in the near future? I would give you about maybe 5 years. I would put this within the next 5 years for sure. Yeah, I think the way the timeline's shaping up at the moment, you are still a little ways away from that happening. There are a few things that need to be in place first, but yeah, it's right there. So let's just hope that doesn't come about. Okay, next question. But they won't let this happen. There are, so yes, whilst we practice not getting involved, there are some things that we would step in on. So if we felt like you were about to destroy yourselves or reset yourselves, sometimes there is a need for resets. So what we would do would be to look at the projections, the possible timelines, and see which one you're on, and then see whether or not we need to step in. So if there was a need to step in, it would have to be pretty severe, pretty serious, and it would be talking about complete sort of planetary devastation in order for us to have to step in. Whereas if it looks like it's only going to be in certain areas, basically it's going to get really bad first. It will have to get really bad for us to be able to step in, because, you know, we make the rules that we make for a reason. We don't really want to break our own rules. Got to spend a lot of time to figure those out based on previous experiences. So this right here, yeah, we wouldn't let anything completely drastic happen to you where you'd be annihilated, put it that way. It's not very cheery, is it? No. But basically, you'd be fine. You'd be fine. And if we went down a bad timeline, we'd always just rewind it and reset it. So don't worry, there's always ways. Next question. Will we have heaven on earth and life will be so much more pleasant? Oh, that's such a lovely question. What's interesting about life in the 3D, and I'm going to apply this everywhere throughout the universe, is that it takes a very long time for societies, civilizations to realize that the world we live in is a reflection of the world that we come from. And what I mean by that is, so you'd say heaven, I call it the Asher, and Ach is the higher place. And the philosophy is that everything created in our known world is created by the Asher. And so it's a reflection of, but just sort of scaled down version of what's in the Asher. No one knows what's in there. That's the thing. Nobody actually knows. You're not supposed to know. There's supposed to be a separation between our worlds and that world, or our reality and that reality. And we can create life here the way that we want it to be. So what heaven on earth might look like for you might look completely different for somebody else. So somebody else's version of heaven would be reuniting with loved ones who've passed on. That might not always be possible to do that on earth or in the 3D. But similarly, it could be somebody's version of heaven is, you know, having everything perfect and everything done for them. And somebody else's idea might be to just repeat a particular afternoon or a particular day that was just a perfect time for them. So everybody's version of what is pleasant is going to be different. So that's something to keep in mind when you are talking about heaven on earth. So some people are already living their heaven on earth. Some people, it takes a little bit of effort, a little bit of work to get there. Or, and this is one of the great things, is that you realize maybe it doesn't take that much effort, and actually it takes letting go, and it takes relaxing and learning to go with the flow in order to have that experience of happiness or heaven on earth. So it's all about perspective. Next question. Will that finally give us the option to explore the universe? Currently, you do have the option to explore the universe. You do have access to everything that you need. Perhaps not the knowledge. Perhaps not everybody has access to the knowledge. It is there. Everything you need is there. It is available to you. And I think that's one of the another great thing that people will come to realize in time, is that it's actually very straightforward. It's very easy to go out and explore. Once that starts happening a bit more, this is what invites us in, or lets us know that you're at a particular stage. So we are led by your development. You let us know what stage you're at, and we will kind of behave or act according to what stage you're at. Okay. So will Earth's vibration raise higher? So I'm just wondering if you mean the people on the Earth, because the Earth is the Earth. It is a sentient energy, it is a consciousness. But then you have the collective consciousness of humanity, of cultures, of society. So I guess the short answer would be yes, if people are, if it's people driven, yes. The frequency vibration of the Earth, if the Earth suddenly changed its frequency, you would probably find yourself without any ground under your feet. So we don't want that to happen, do we? So yes, if we're talking about society and people, yes, there will be a higher vibration. But will it be high enough to keep negative entities out? Unfortunately, you can't keep out negative entities. Oh gosh, right. Yeah, so how to explain? You can build the most watertight, airtight space for yourself, house for yourself, and the ants will still find a way to get in. Do you know what I mean? So you can vibrate, operate at the highest frequency, and what that does is it actually attracts negative entities, because they're like, they've got something going on over there that I like the feel of, or there's something that's drawing me towards that person. Depends on what you mean as well by negative entities, because there are some interdimensional beings that might be considered a negative entity, but they're not. They're just trying to exist within their dimension, and sometimes it crosses over with ours, and it causes problems on both sides. If you're talking about things like demons, demonic entities, demons are actually created with a purpose. So if they are around, or around an individual, there's usually a reason for that. There's usually some karmic energy that's pulling that demon towards that person. So yeah, it's a complex question, that one. Sorry. Will crime be lowered and no more wars? That would be lovely, wouldn't it? Crime will be lowered. Crime will be lowered. It will get worse before it gets better. And that is because it can take people a while to catch up with the changes. Especially if people have been kind of left to their own devices to raise their vibration, and they have no way of being able to raise their vibration You know, no spiritual guidance, no books, no kind of visuals, no way to kind of, I don't want to say cheat their way into the high vibration, but no example for them to follow. So ultimately, yes, there will be, there kind of has to be a lower crime rates. And in terms of war, there may well be conflicts, but there shouldn't be any need for war when you're at the high vibration. Okay, I hope that explains that. We can finally have peace and get along. Yes, for the majority of people, absolutely. What you will have is people taking on board peacekeeper roles. So you have light worker energies, you also have light warrior energies, and those are the people that will be seeking the justice, and the people that will be kind of protecting the peace and you know, taking care of the balance. We call it the balance, really. That's why I always say there is no good or bad, there's no right or wrong, it's always about balance. Next up, we have other aliens decided it's better to work together instead of trying to dominate one another? Yes, is the short answer. Absolutely. Is the universe filled with at least 90% of light beings? Well, that's interesting. So I don't know how to answer that, because the universe is limitless, and when we talk about all the different realities and timelines and dimensions, it goes on and on and on. I would say you would be surprised. I don't want you coming out here with your innocent eyes being kind of tested, because that's not going to be good, is it? I would maybe put it like 50-50, and that, you know, it depends on your definition of light beings, because everybody's just trying to get along and do their best most of the time. And, you know, as long as people are trying, I'd say that puts them in the light side. So, but then, yeah, when you start kind of branching out and looking at all the different layers to reality, then, yeah, maybe not so much. So it depends on where you go. It depends on where you go. Is it mostly fear-based accusations trying to prevent us from contact with other beings in the universe? Yes, I would say the fear is real. And when we talk about letting go and acceptance, sometimes things are just the way that they are. And that can be very difficult to accept, especially when you're trying to, especially if you feel like you're in control of things and that you have mastery over things. It's a really hard lesson to learn that sometimes you don't have control. And so it's always been the case that fear, anger, frustration, the sort of low frequency vibrations, the reactionary emotions, are the ones that put the brakes on things, which is unfortunate. Oh, bless it. Is everyone on Earth a starseed? I suppose you could say yes, all descendants of starseeds. Actually, when I think about it, not everybody on Earth is a starseed. Some people have had lifetimes on other planets, but they wouldn't describe themselves or perhaps align with the starseed energy. Starseeds tend to have more lifetimes on other planets, the majority of their lifetimes off-world. And then when they're on Earth, then Earth feels quite alien and foreign to them. But I feel like there's a number of people on Earth who, or a number of souls on Earth, I should say, who have had lives on other planets, who are sort of recognizing that now, or remembering that now. But Earth has a very, very long history. It's much longer than what you would get in your history books. Like civilization on Earth has been restarted, I think, twice. We could be in the third cycle right now. So people that remember the older cycles, they may feel like starseeds, because life on Earth used to be very, very different versus how it is now. So are most humans on Earth starseeds? Yeah, I feel like it's probably the same explanation. So, you know, because some people, if they spend most of their lifetimes on Earth and then they go off-world, they might find it too strange, and so they would choose then to stay on Earth. Okay, it's personal choice, it's free will. Is everyone a part of an oversoul family which has Starseed interplanetary? It's that rule, isn't it? That rule of 7, that you're only 7 people away from knowing everybody. At some point, people would have had a Starseed connection within their family or within their community. Whether that's conscious or unconscious, that connection would exist. Is everyone supposed to know their connections to other planets, or is it against the soul contract or their will to experience Earth? Yes, that's absolutely true. Not everyone is supposed to know what their soul contract is, or even their past lifetime, starseed or not. Not everyone is supposed to know, because it can interfere with their mission or their sort of life goals this time round. So, you know, say, let's think about a famous past life or reincarnation case. A lady grew up remembering her past lifetime, and she spent practically her whole life this time round trying to reunite her children from a previous lifetime. Now, that could well have been part of her soul's mission and reason to reincarnate. However, if it wasn't, if it was, say, that she was destined to become Prime Minister, but she was concentrating on fulfilling this, you know, this desire from her past lifetime to see all of her living family members, then it may have distracted her from her pathway to, you know, what she's supposed to be doing this time. Similarly, if someone is following a sort of a scientific pathway this time around, they wouldn't necessarily be want to carry with them the knowledge of all of their other lifetimes. And, you know, I described this one time as being like a suitcase. Your body, your physical body is a suitcase. And you, when you are planning your life out, you can bring with you, pack into your suitcase what you think is going to be relevant to you for your journey, for your mission in this life. So that could be certain knowledge, that could be certain people that you were connected with, it could be characteristics, all types of things. So you're allowed to kind of bring those snippets over with you, and sometimes those snippets may carry a memory with them, especially if it's particularly strong, like smells often trigger memories. So if you were like a hairdresser in another lifetime, and this time around you decided to bring with you that sort of work ethic, you wanted to bring your work ethic with you, going into the hairdressers may trigger some past life memories for you. You may feel comfortable in that, you may feel uncomfortable because you're remembering that you're not supposed to remember that. So there's all kinds of things to say about this question. So yeah, some people are supposed to know because it's a big part of their mission. Some people are really not supposed to know because it may prevent them from fulfilling their mission. Okay. Any final thoughts and messages to share with the audience? Oh, bless you. So, honestly, I am a bit of a talker. I know I talk and talk and talk. But I hope you got something out of this. I'm so happy that I had the chance to be asked so many questions and share with you. I wrote a book a few years ago all about my Starseed experience. It's called Philosophy from the Stars, and it sort of concentrates mainly on the fabric of reality and where I'm from, how reality is kind of constructed and how we interact with one another. I haven't done a follow-on book yet, but I'm working on other projects at the moment, so I will probably do a follow-up. This has really inspired me to kind of put more stuff out there for people to check out. It's been a pleasure, and thank you so much for everyone who's watched. If you've made it to the end, thank you so much. And yeah, thank you so much, Carl, for having me here. I hope we get to work together again because I love your energy. It's fabulous channeler for Reiki, and this is just wonderful. So thank you very much again, and I will wish you all a very lovely evening, day, week, month, year. Feel free to come check out my channel, Unveiled Psych, and it's wonderful to connect with you all.
Well, thank you so much, Heather, for all your input, and thank you for all the beings that channeled with you. I felt there was more than one. The Pleiadian, I felt like there was an Arcturian too, and I could tell, like, when he said we, it's like, oh, okay, and that kind of felt like a connection there. So that was really cool, and this was so fascinating. All the questions, all the responses, and I loved how, like, you went in depth. And it was so cool, and just, like I said, it was so magical, and it's just such an incredible experience. So I was really happy we did this collab together. And you reached out to me quite some time ago, and like, we were working on an idea, and like, okay, when you told me about this, like, we've got this idea, like, yeah, I knew it was like, it's gonna be so much fun. And yeah, so I hope everybody else enjoyed it, and thank you. Be sure to check out Heather's YouTube channel, Unveiled Psych. I'll link that in the description. If I forgot about it, just let me know, and I'll send you the link. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun, and hopefully do this again in the future. I would love to do another collaboration. It was awesome, and I hope you guys thought it was amazing too. And so be sure to check out our channel. Like she said, she does Reiki, crystals, and ASMR content. So be sure to check out our page. And many blessings, and have a wonderful rest of your day or night. And we'll see you guys really soon. Bye.